All right, Alexander, we have the confirmation and the approval of Justice Amy Coney Barrett. We had the ceremony earlier this week. She is now the ninth Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. We had a coordinated tweet from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, two members of the squad. And in the tweet, they just said three words. They said, expand the court. They're not giving up on any of this. What do you make of what happened throughout the confirmation of ACB? Let's call her ACB. What do you make of the Democrats not giving up on their desires to expand the court? This has become a major policy, a major plank of their policy platform. I mean, expand the court now. I think you can confidently say expanding the Supreme Court is now in the Democrat Party platform for good.
Absolutely, I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, that is indeed what they're aiming to do, and we've discussed it in previous programs. It is a revolutionary proposal which will upset the balance of the Constitution of the United States. Without a legitimate Supreme Court, the Constitution of the United States cannot function because the Supreme Court is the final authority on what in the United States is constitutional or not. So it has to be there to provide that stamp of legitimacy on decisions. Without it, the whole Constitution cannot function. So tampering with it in that way is disastrous. But let's just quickly talk about Amy Coney Barrett. And I have to say, ACB, I think they weren't able to lay a glove on her. She carried herself through the confirmation hearings with extraordinary skill. I thought the Democrats' behavior was frankly ludicrous. I mean, boycotting meetings and striking poses and things of that kind. And it showed yet again, as does this incendiary proposal about packing the court and enlarging the court in this way, there are fundamental contempt for the institutions, the key institutions of the United States. They do not understand what a Supreme Court is. They want to subvert it so that it becomes a tool for them, because that's ultimately what they want it to be. Whereas with ACB, what you saw is a judge who proposes to administer the law in accordance with the Constitution. That's the fundamental difference. One side wants to use the court, the other wants it to act like a court. Fundamental difference in philosophies.
And I think we now have an interesting dynamic now in the Supreme Court in that Roberts is not such a controversial figure anymore. I mean, he doesn't carry the leverage that he once carried. So, I mean, she really is a true game changer.
Absolutely. And it's already been reflected in decisions, by the way, because Roberts sided with basically the Democrats over the voting in Pennsylvania, an extraordinary, bizarre decision. And then he completely reversed himself and sided with the Republicans over voting in Wisconsin. And I mean, he then comes up with this very complicated explanation, trying to reconcile these two completely contradictory decisions, which, I mean, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what he was trying to say. I don't think anybody really understands what he's trying to say, but it shows the extent to which the balance of the court has changed and how electing ACB has changed the whole weather in the Supreme Court. I'm going to say I think it's also going to make a big difference electorally also.
You mean during the election she's going to play a pivotal role?
I think it will. I think it played a pivotal role in 2016. That Trump said that he would nominate justices of a certain type, and he's carried out that promise. So I think there will be people who will be more even more willing to vote for Trump because he's done it. And there will be people who will be less willing to vote for Biden because he wasn't able to prevent it. and the Democrats weren't able to prevent it. So I think this will have an effect on the election. I predict it will.
Yeah. So, like 3 months ago, maybe even 2 months ago, a lot of people were speculating that the election may end up in the Supreme Court. And you would have something like the Red Mirage plan play out. The lawyers would get involved. And over, 2 to 3 week time period, it would eventually get kicked up to the Supreme Court. And so appointing ACB was the ultimate stopgap. In other words, it literally just stopped the Democrats right in their tracks with moving forward in some sort of mail-in ballot scheme or ballot harvesting scheme to try and get the Supreme Court and Justice Roberts to flip and give the elections to Biden. I'm wondering, is that as much of an issue today? A lot of momentum is behind Trump now. Biden is literally withering away with every second of every minute of every day. He's just withering away. And I think that fear may not be as prevalent as it was 2 months ago.
Yes, one reason it's not as prevalent as it was a few months ago is because of the change of the Supreme Court. The fact that ACB is there means that Roberts can't, make the difference that he did. I mean, we actually were having decisions where it was a 4-4. It was a split vote. Now we no longer have that any longer. So we have, at worst a 5-4 if Roberts were to split. And in fact, it's more likely he would go with the majority because that tends to be what he will do. So that's changed that dynamic, and it's had an effect on the political weather because all of those machinations that we were talking about, the Red Mirage and all that, depended very, very heavily on the Democrats and their supporters being able to put pressure on the Supreme Court with a solid conservative majority on the Supreme Court, and with people like, frankly, ACB is not going to be pushed around. I mean, that became out very, very clearly during the confirmation proceedings. That danger has gone, and I think it has taken a lot of the energy out of all of those ideas. But of course, that comes on top of the fact that energy has been draining out of the Biden campaign also. He isn't campaigning, essentially. He's hiding in his basement. The Democrats have no, ground game, apparently, anywhere. I mean, reading articles now all over the place about how, all over the country, the Republicans, the Trump people are out there knocking on doors, campaigning, holding meetings, holding impromptu meetings, doing things outside even the official Trump campaign. And the Democrats are invisible, apparently. And one is getting the sense that the whole direction of the campaign is flowing very, very strongly now in Trump's direction. He had a bad week, I think, when he fell ill, when there was that brief moment when he fell ill and it made him look vulnerable. But with Donald Trump, as I've always said, he's most formidable on the rebound. He came back, he's got his supporters in the country, and Biden is withering away.
Yeah, I agree. That darkest hour became his finest moment. And I think that was the shift. If I had to pick 2 points that were the big shift, it was beating the CV, and at the same time, pretty much within a span of a couple of days, is getting ACB fast track, getting that moving. And I think that those 2 points were the big momentum shifts.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I think. And as I said, if he wins next week, which I predict he will, I think when we start going through the tea leaves of this, we will see that was the case.
Yeah. Sometimes you need, 1 to 2, victories, battle victories.
Yes.
And then you're well on your way to winning the war.
Absolutely. And this was a very clean and clear-cut victory. And the fact that you have the squad coming out making these kind of statements. I mean, it comes across as so, first of all, it comes across as so petulant and childish and stupid, frankly. I mean, talk about that.
Well, they are.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, it's like a child that trips and starts bashing the floor. I mean,
They are.
It has that sort of quality. It's a tantrum, really. I mean, it's childish.
That's the squad.
And the squad, ugly and unimpressive. I mean, you can't see these as serious people. That's the first thing. But the proposal itself is a revolutionary one. Tear the whole house down. You don't get what you want. You can't get the Supreme Court that you want. So you blow the whole institution up, and the Constitution, and the country with it. I mean, it's just as I said, it's awful. It's terrible. And I'm sure that most people out there, including many people who are probably left of center, fundamentally and ultimately don't like it. Most of those left of center people will probably still vote Biden, but some of them probably won't vote at all. And the independents won't be impressed in the slightest. And already, apparently, they were shifting as a result of the debate, the last presidential debate. All of the panels that they had up and down the country, apparently, they all showed clear-cut Trump win. So clearly, the momentum now is going in one way.
Yeah, I agree. It hurts at the end of the day. Tweets like that also hurt the Biden campaign. If you can hurt it anymore, it hurts the Biden campaign that much more, because he's trying to avoid answering that question. And here comes, AOC and Omar, and they say, expand the court. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, so you're definitely going to expand the court, right?
Well, indeed. I mean, bear in mind, he's got this enormous problem in that he's not taken any step to separate himself from these people, because he needs them at the same time to get the sort of young left-wing activist types out voting for him. They're not very enthusiastic for him anyway. So he's not disassociated himself from the squad. So by not disassociating himself from them, he owns them. And when they say things like that, they reflect on him. Everybody can see the Biden program, and the fact that it's become increasingly, shaped by the left of the Democrat Party. And everybody knows that if he is elected, there will be this enormous pressure to pack the court, and that he will probably go along with it because, frankly, he's not going to be a very strong president. Nobody expects that he will be.
That's an understatement. All right. We'll leave it there. Alexander Mercouris, thank you very much, guys. Click on subscribe. Also, make sure to look for us on BitChute and subscribe, and ODYSEE. Look for us there as well. And follow us there on those other platforms. And please go to PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribe Star. Donate to us there as well. And, of course, go to the Duran shop and pick up some merchandise to help us out on the Duran shop as well. And you get great merchandise.
Yeah, amazing merchandise. Here's the one of our great mugs, the magic mugs of the Duran, the famous magic mugs of the Duran, the best mugs in the world. And you can see this one has the flag of the United States, and I think Alex there has the flag of Greece. So they, as I said, the best mugs without any question at all. And they also come with the best shirts. You'll see the marvelous shirts that we're wearing. You see that Alex has a shirt with the flag of Canada there. Many of our shirts also have flags. Many of our hats have flags. Here is a hat with a flag of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, which is the country I am proud to be a resident and citizen of. And we've also got flags of other countries. There's England on one of our enameled mugs. And we've also got hoodies, and we've got hats, both truckers' hats and baseball hats. And people who come to our shop tell us how much they love the things they find there. And you support us by coming to our shop. So come to our shop and support the Duran. Join us on our programs and follow us. Go to Subscribe Star, BitChute, and all those other platforms.
All right, everybody, take care.